Hi guys, long time no see. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. This is my April reading wrap up, and right now it's the 1st of May. It's May 1st. I don't know if you watch my TikToks, I do my monthly wrap ups. Hello? Okay, I do my monthly wrap ups on TikTok a lot of the time, and they're like 3 minutes, maybe like 2 parts, but I really don't go in depth into the books I read. For March's monthly wrap up, I said that I read more books than I thought I would because it was, okay, for March's monthly wrap up, I said that I read a lot more books than I thought I would normally read, because normally I read around 8 books a month, so like 2 books a week, roughly. I was like, holy shit, I read a lot. Because I think I read, let me count. I have it on my phone. I read 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 books this month. I was like in a fantasy, like, oh, the lighting changed. But I was in like a fantasy slump. And like, I was like, I don't know. I just read so many fantasies that I just like didn't compute in my head. And so I was like back in my romance reading era. The first book I read was These Infinite Threads by Tahara Mafi. I gave this one a 3.5. I feel like, unlike the first one, where like you're really getting into the story, there was like nothing in here. So like you would just go between these 2 characters, and like it was basically just like conversations. So nothing like happened. But I don't know, like I wasn't too into the characters. I think I only really liked the main female character. Next, I read A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I gave this one a 4.5 stars because I really liked the setting, and it was like a little slow getting into it. I was just immersed into the world, and then the plot was really good. I really liked the plot. The writing was good. I didn't expect the plot to go what the plot did, and it was like, whoa. I was like, oh my god, this is kind of crazy. Then and that was like where my slump was like beginning. I was like, ugh. So next, I read Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. I gave this one a 5 stars. I loved Mary Jane. And like, I think I just like fiction, like literary fiction, coming of age books like that, where it's just like telling a story. Like nothing, like there's no high stakes. There's not like, I mean, there's high stakes for Mary Jane. But for me, I'm just like reading along, and I can like physically like see this happen. It's like a movie. Next, I read the second book in the duology of A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I read A Fire Endless? I don't think that's the title. Let me look. Oh, it is A Fire Endless. Okay. I read A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. I gave this one a 5 stars. I liked how it just wrapped everything up, and I loved the storyline of like where we left off in the first one. After that, I was like kind of done with fantasy. I watched a vlog with Lauren Asher and Larry Reeds, and I was like, maybe I should read Lauren Asher's book. And so like I was like hell-bent on not reading this book. I was like, I heard the plot, and it was like basically like Disney World and these characters, and I was like, I don't like see how that could be entertaining to me. But I read the fine print, gave that 4.5 stars. I fucking loved the fine print. I don't know why. I love the dynamic between the characters. I'm a grumpy sunshine like hoe. Like I fucking love that shit. And like, I don't know, like I just loved it. Like it was so cute. He really made up for it, because he was like groveling at the near the 3rd act breakup, duh. But he was like, he really wanted her, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. Okay, I'm still on my Lauren Asher kick. So I read Terms and Condition, and I just don't think I liked Declan as much as I liked Rowan. So, but I loved Iris. I love all the girls in this trilogy. So, but I gave Terms and Condition 3.5 stars. Like it didn't hit as much as the first one, and I was like, the first one's like so good. Lastly, I read The Final Offer by Lauren Asher again. I gave this one 4.5. I think the fine print and Final Offer are my favorite ones, because I loved Callahan, and like I love a second chance romance. So like I cried every time they like talked about like them breaking up for the first time. I love crying in books. I love it. Next, I read Throttled by Lauren Asher. This is like the Dirty Air series. This is the Dirty Air series, and I think Throttled's the first book, and I think I really liked them. I really liked it. There was like no distinct 3rd act breakup that I remember. So, and I loved Maya Noah. I don't know, it was so cute. It was like, after that, I think I took a day and I was like, oh, do I want to keep reading romance or should I try reading another fantasy? And I was like, maybe I'm not done with my romance era. So I read another romance and I didn't know which romance to read because the side characters that are introduced in Throttled, I don't even know their names. The second one was about Sophie and Liam. Didn't care for Liam. I didn't care for their relationship. I didn't want to like figure out what went wrong or like what happened with them. In the first book, I also just didn't care about Jax. Like I just didn't want to read his book. And I was like, but then everyone was like, oh, I loved the fourth one, Redeemed, which is Santi's book. And I loved Santi in the first book. So I was like, okay, maybe I read it. And like, I was like, I don't know, maybe I like missed some stuff because I didn't read the other two books. But like this happened. The first thing happened and they like introduced it well that I wasn't like, oh, what happened in like the other two books? I just didn't care. So I was like able to read the fourth book and I love Santi's and Chloe's relationship. I think I gave that one a 4. Yeah, it was a 4. Yeah, that's a 4. The next, oh my god, I read The Love Wager. And I know like Sarah Caroli and I think Haley Pham and maybe Destiny Sidwell were reading this book around the same time. And I was like, oh, they're reading that. And then I was like, maybe I'll read that too. And it sounded really interesting. I loved it. I think this is the first adult Lynn Painter book that I read. I love Jack and Hallie. I think their relationship was so cute. It was just like the best. It was just like a fun time. And it's like really short. She gets to the point to the stories. If I really wanted to just like read a book, this is the book. It's like a fun like rom-com. I think I gave this one, oh, I gave The Love Wager 4.5. This is the second book in the Mr. Wrong Number series. So after that, I read the first one and it was like Jax's sister. So like I knew what happened. I knew they like got to, like his sister and her love interest got together. And then I realized that the first one was about them getting together. And I really liked Mr. Wrong Number. It wasn't as good as The Love Wager. And I don't think I really connected to the characters as much as Jack and Hallie. But I didn't really love Olivia. I had like no ill intentions for her. Hello? But I don't know. She was just like, she was there. And she was the main character. She really did a girl boss move when she left her ex-boyfriend. So that's all I'll say. These are notes that I put down. I said I didn't love Olivia the most, but I liked her. And Colin was super cute. The reveal was predictable, and I thought their banter was good. I think Lynn Painter really knows how to write banter, so I loved it. Next, I wasn't really in the mood for fantasy, but like that's my main genre that I like to read. So I was like, maybe I'll read this book. And I think I might have to reread this book because everyone loves it. Everyone loves the series. I read The City of Brass. I don't know how to say the author's names. I'll put them here. But I gave this one a 3-star. And I just don't like, it was not memorable to me. Like I don't remember anything. It was very like politics based. And I don't think I was in the right mindset to like read these words that I don't know how to pronounce and like look up and like have to like really get into this story. I just don't think I was ready for it. This is what I wrote. I said, objectively great writing. I just think I wasn't in the mood for it. And I hated Ali's point of view for the longest time. I thought it was the most boring thing ever. I just didn't, like I wasn't into it. I said the plot kind of dragged for me and there was a lot of world building and I didn't love the other character. Like I didn't love all the characters like I do with other slower fantasies that make me want to like keep reading. So maybe I'll reread this when I'm like in a fantasy mood, but I just don't think it's right now. Next, I read Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. And Sarah Caroli fucking loves this book, so I was like, maybe I'll like it. I gave this one a 4-star. You could give me probably $200,000. I would not be able to explain how this magic system works. Like, I don't understand how they do magic. I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand it. This is my first Carissa Broadbent book, and I felt like in this book, the action sequences, they were like, okay, so like they're in a fight, boom, 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 for like I think it would be like 3 more pages, and then they would win the fight. And so I was like, how does that work? Like I was like, that don't make no sense. Cause like I don't know, I think a lot of Carissa Broadbent's books, the fighting doesn't last as long as like other fantasy books, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is so action packed and stuff like that. Like they just win the fight and like move on and then do something else. So I think that's the one thing I didn't really like about Daughter of Underworld. And then I read okay, I don't know, some people might hate me for this. I gave this one a 3.25 stars. And a lot of people love it, and I just didn't really cry at the ending. Like I knew what was gonna happen, and like I don't get it. If he had been with me, girl, he was with you. I wasn't crying, I wasn't like heartbroken, because I felt like these characters were very 2D. Her name was Autumn. She wore a tiara, as I was like, okay, like there was no reason that they did a tiara. And then she would write books. She was like really into like English, and she like wanted to like pursue an English degree or something like that. I think the way the author wrote it was like, he said this, she said this, she did this. More it was like, I did this, blah blah blah, he did this. And I was like, I don't care. Like I just didn't think the writing was as great as everyone. I don't think people like love the writing, but like I just didn't think the storyline was like as good as everyone hyped it up to be. So I gave this 3.25. Next I read Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. This one 4 stars. I really liked it, and like there was a plot twist that I like didn't even see happen. I was like, I like didn't even fathom the possibility. I was like actually like shocked. I was like, oh, but yeah, it was crazy. Said so much. Actually, yeah, so much happened in this book. And I saw a lot of reviews on like Goodreads were like, oh my god, this is like, all this stuff that happened in this book could easily happen in like two books. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Besides that big plot twist, I didn't love the main love interest as much. Everyone, I don't know, I was like, okay. And like he did something that like I objectively is right, but like I was with the main character. I was like, I reread Beach Read, because this is about the time that Happy Place was about to come out, and so I read this one. I read Beach Read the day before Happy Place came out, just to like relive my go back on my Emily Henry-ness and like feel how she writes a book. And I also annotated this one because I don't know, I like, when I say annotate, I just underline things that I love. I gave that one 5 stars. Duh, it's a Beach Read. I totally forgot about a plot point in this book, and I was like actually shocked. I was like, oh my god, I forgot this happened. Okay. One thing I do have to say about this, if you read the American version, I think the UK ending was better than the American ending. In their books that they wrote, he puts like a really cute dedication to her, to January in that one. But if Emily Henry like merged these two endings together, top tier. It would be fucking superior. Next I read Happy Place by Emily Henry. And let me just tell you, I fucking love this book. I think this might be my favorite Emily Henry book out of all of them. Yeah, I think this tops Beach Read for me. I loved Win, and I know like people like rank Win like low, but I fucking loved Win. I think he was like such a cute character. And I think he was such a good boyfriend, and like I just loved him. And I loved the friend group. The friend group was so good, and it was just like, oh my god, we're getting older, like how is our lives gonna change? And it was just like so fun to like see them grow, especially with like the past present timeline for Win and Harriet's relationship. I cried like basically all the time. Look how cute this book is. It was so good. I think Harriet was like so like, her like people pleasing was like to me such like an oldest immigrant daughter, because like you just want to please your parents, and they like, you know how much they sacrifice for you, so you just, I don't know, you just want to please them, and like you don't know how to like deal with conflict because they are so like, especially in like, I don't know, in my culture it's like the elders are always right, and so like you can't really like argue. You don't know how to like, I don't know how to deal with conflict like that. So I loved Harriet. We're back. My camera overheated. I was scared. It was like showing a fucking red exclamation point. So I got scared. We're almost done. These are the last 2 books. Next I read The Serpent, the Wings of the Night by Carissa Broadbent. I gave this one 5 stars. I love the characters. I know like her dad, Vincent, I know he's like not a good guy, and like no vampire king especially can be a good guy, but the love he had for her, unmatched. I fucking loved Vincent. I also got spoiled. I saw like a TikTok clip. It was like a 3-second like big box. It's a spoiler for Serpent, the Wings of the Night. 60% through that book, and I was like, what can happen now? I'm like, so I was like, very spoiler. Like, I was like, huh? I kept watching like a fucking idiot. And yeah, I got the biggest spoiler of my fucking life. Aurea, the main girl character, she gave me such Jude vibes from The Cruel Prince. Yo. Aurea gave me such Jude vibes, and I was like, oh my god, Aurea. And like I loved her, and I loved Rain. Oh my god, it was so good. I cried at the plot twist that I got spoiled to, even though I knew what was gonna happen. But like reading it happen just makes it so much worse. It was like I like knew what was gonna happen, but like reading the thought process of Aurea during that plot twist. Next, I read, this is the last book I read, and I finished it the 30th, April 30th, The Ash and the Star-Crossed King. And like, okay, this is the book where you see what happens like after the math of that book. And so you navigate Aurea and Rain's relationship. This one was very politics based, and it was not as action packed as the first one, because the first one was like, it was like a vampire Hunger Games, and if you win, you kill everybody, you get this wish from the goddess Nyaxia, which is the mother of the vampires. But since this one was more like politics based and like navigating what happened at the end of the first one, I don't know, it was interesting, and there was still a lot of action. But I think I just liked the first one more, so I think I gave this one 4.5 stars. Oh, no, I gave this one 4 stars. And, like, I just think because the politics weren't that interesting to me, I was like, okay, but I really loved the first one, so it's like a good duology, and I know there's more coming for the different vampire clans, or the first one out of, like, the new duology book in this world is coming out. I think I read online it was spring summer 2024, so I've got to wait a whole fucking year. So yeah, overall great fucking reading month. Don't know what I'm gonna read now. I think right now I'm reading King of Pride by Anna Huang, and I think I'm gonna read Frida McFadden's like housemaid book, because I want to know, like maybe I want to be in a thriller mood. And then I also want to read Children of Fallen Gods, which is Daughter of No Worlds, the second book by Carissa Broadbent. I want to read Iron Widow, and I also want to read Magnolia Parks. This book is a fucking brick. Like, I think this is the heaviest, like it's one of the heaviest books ever. Like, I'm going into this not knowing that it's not like a romance because of Sarah Crowley, and I'm just here for I'm here. If Sarah Crowley cries, and I'm like way more than a baby than her, because I cried every fucking book, it seems like. But I'm ready to cry. I'm ready to get attached. Okay, it's time to go. I want to have a different setup because my window's right there, and so like if I film this way, where like my book cart normally is, and like some of my Emily Henry books and my Lee Bardugo books on display on my desk. Also a wanted poster of Lord Jax from Stephanie Garber's publisher. Okay, I'm sorry. I want to film around there, but it's like hard to get like because of the natural light. Oh god. That's it. Yippee! Oh, I gotta film the outro. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope it was nice to see what I read this month, especially after my like 3-month-long hiatus from January. Maybe this summer I'll be like picking you guys up. So yeah.